Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about a brand called Snif. Back in like 2021 or 2022 when Snif launched, they were a COVID brand, and one of the whole points of this brand was that you could try before you buy. So Snif used to have this business model where you would get a package of 3 fragrances with samples and you could return what you didn't like. Now midway through like 2022, 2023, Snif started doing collaborations. They collaborated with influencers, music brands, hotels, and I think with these interesting collaborations, you've started to see the brand really branch out and start doing fun things. Part of the reason I wanted to make a video on this brand is because they are so fun and their marketing is so good that you can start seeing so many reviews of a purple yam scented fragrance and you're like, I guess I need that. I think there's a lot of fear of missing out where you can see these super interesting fragrances that you're like, what could that possibly smell like? And once you see the price breakdown of really how much it costs per milliliter, is it worth it to spend however much money per milliliter just to have smelled this fragrance? But if you do want to buy something, I'm a 10% off. So hopefully this helps you form your opinion. I'm glad as a perfumery student that someone is doing these fun things and giving perfumers fun, creative, innovative concepts that are not necessarily trying to do the most niche, luxurious, highbrow fragrance. We're just trying to have fun. So without further ado, let's start. Now, the first group of fragrances that I'm going to review here are the ones that they started off with. So these are kind of the OGs in their collection. These are fragrances that are still on their website, but they're like on clearance. So they're ones that you can still purchase to this day, but they're on their way out. Except one of them, which is actually available in candle form. So if you want to see the review to that, then keep watching. Okay, this fragrance, Strawberry Moon, is one that I remember being a little disappointed by because it's not a strawberry scent. This fragrance smells like a fruity floral, and it smells like something I would have as a shower gel or like basic background. You're checking into a hotel, not even like an expensive hotel, just like you're at your Best Western or like Super 8 or something. And it smells maybe just like a little plasticky, a little synthetic, but it does smell sterile. You just went into a freshly washed bathroom. It's like something between sort of summery, sort of fruity in the way of cleaning products and kind of floral in the way of laundry detergent. But overall, it's not particularly a clean scent, because there's something a little old and maybe a little musty about it. It's just not something I ever reach for. Next up, we have Natural Talent. The scent itself, I find, is kind of lost, and I feel like the branding is not that interesting. Like now they're a little more fun and have more creative aspects that I think really tie together the scent profiles. There's definitely something fruity in here. Yeah, slightly tart, peachy scent. Maybe like the shy girl in your friend group that just wants something a little sweet and a little soft. It smells like peach skin, and it smells nice to me. It's just kind of like, you know, it's just peach skin. So it's not something I gravitate toward, but I think it smells good. Okay, so this fragrance here is called Burning Bridges. You can tell mine is a little old because the atomizer is actually like kind of rancid and kind of red. Fragrance is a really strong, sweet vanilla tobacco scent. I don't know if it's a cardamom, but like a cracked pepper with the vanilla and the tobacco, but with a lot of cracked pepper. So it's very peppery. Reminds me a little bit of a fragrance that I like from Histoire de Parfum, which is 1899 Hemingway. That fragrance is the most delicious vanilla iris with some spices. It makes me think of a good scholarly man who reads books and understands philosophy, has nice thrifted sweaters. This smells like a $39 version of that one. So it's okay. I like the other one better, but this one is not bad. Moving along, we have Way with Woods, which is another one of their first scents. This is so ambroxan. It's so ambroxan, cashmerean, woody, marine, salty. I don't know, maybe you'd like this if you would want a cheaper version of like an ISOE super fragrance, and because that's kind of what it is. It's just too much. It's not my vibe. This one was never one of my favorites. All right, the first one that I grabbed is called Tart Deco. Now, this is their cherry fragrance. One thing I find about cherry fragrances is that a lot of them smell kind of the same. Like, I don't really know what to tell you with this, except it smells like a cherry perfume. It's sweet, fruity, deep, and rich with this warm wine-like feeling. I think that when it comes to cherry fragrances, this is one that's done well, and it's just like kind of exactly what you're expecting. One thing that I will note is that cherry is more of a top note. I don't find that it's a super long-lasting fragrance note. So I do think that this is a fragrance that could have the potential to evolve such that the cherry isn't as strong over time. I think I remember this having like somewhat of a masculine base or feel. and I just threw it on the ground. Sorry, Tart Deco. Right now, I'm not getting that at all. It's just fruity, sweet, syrupy, delicious. This is high up there with one of my favorite Snif scents. That said, I don't really wake up and think I want to wear a cherry perfume, so it's one that I own. It's not one that I reach for that much, but I think it smells really good. So like if you want a cherry perfume, I think it's a good one. The next one that we have is Sweet Ash, and this was always my favorite of some of the first fragrances from Snif. So this is the fragrance where I think Snif really found a hit. This fragrance is a sweet fragrance with a bit of a bergamot-like Earl Grey tea feeling. There's a Veramos note or something in here that to some people is reminiscent of the Baccarat world. I don't associate them enough to affect my enjoyment of this. There's a piney scent that the more that you smell this, it reminds me of like a Christmas tree farm or juniper, something a little bit like an interesting cocktail. And I think that's one reason why people really like this fragrance is it's like a good gourmand that smells really nice. It's cozy, but it's also different and it smells complex and niche and unisex. And so I think it really hit a lot of good pillars where Snif kind of found their audience in a way with this fragrance. So this was a total hit and I like this one a lot. Next up we have the new Sweet Ash Super Fragrance. And essentially the thought behind this is their original fragrances are eau de toilettes, but this one is, I think, an eau de parfum. The whole component, for the most part, feels like glass. And I think that this is supposed to be like a supercharged, stronger version of Sweet Ash. Now, this fragrance is probably like twice the weight of the original fragrances. I think the pine note from Sweet Ash has taken very far a backseat. And there's something kind of reminiscent of Afternoon Delight in this. This fragrance is really vanilla and milky. And lactones can sometimes have milky components, yes, but also fruity components. And so there's something that I almost pick up as like a little shower jelly in here. I don't know if there's a fruity note or what, but this fragrance, I think overall, it smells less like a piney bergamot tea, which Sweet Ash smelled like. Weird. And it's more so like a neutral, sweet vanilla milk. And I like this. I think it smells good. There's something even kind of fresh and fluffy to it that I really like. So the Sweet Ash Super Fragrance I think is really nice. Again, if you want any of these, I'm a 10 for 10% off. Moving along, we have Golden Ticket, and this is for any of you who like tea. This one actually had like a really cool marketing campaign because they essentially launched this fragrance, and with it, I think they did a Willy Wonka-esque ticket on the box. So when you got the fragrance, there's a chance that you could open it up and actually get a ticket. I think they had a trip to England where they flew someone to England for like a tea party. Looked like a really good time. I wish they took me. But yeah, this fragrance, I think I like it and I don't. It's green, smoky, and there's something of Thé Noir from the Labo. And I really like that component, that kind of like warm, figgy, cozy feeling. But to me, the smokiness I didn't like as much at the beginning because for me, I love tea. It's one of my favorite notes, but most of my tea fragrances are uplifting and fresh and calming. Like the smoky notes that smell a little burnt in here, I just have trouble reconciling with my type of tea fragrances. Yeah, overall on my skin, I get a Triplol or Aldehyde Double A mowed grass kind of smell with a bit of a rubbery tire smell. A lot of people do like this one. It's just not my favorite. I think that there's other fragrances that are in this scent profile, like Thé Noir, like Thé Matcha, Thé Oolong, that have a better execution to my taste. Jumping back in here, when I sat down to film this, I thought that I didn't really like Golden Ticket because when I smelled it when it first launched like a year or two ago, it was not my thing originally, and so I just never revisited it. I actually like this scent. I do think it smells rather niche and complex, and I like the fact that it has the tea, but it also has this earthiness that makes it unisex or even masculine leaning. It's starting to become the summertime around here, and I do think this is a scent that has something earthy and kind of green, but also rooted in this summertime feeling. So I like the scent. I think you could wear it all year round, from summer going into the fall when it starts raining, or even the springtime when it's rainy. So this one's actually grown on me and I do like it. It's not my favorite from Snif because again, like I'm still getting used to it, but I think this is one I was sleeping on. The next fragrance that we have is Vanilla Vice. Now this was super controversial when it launched. So Vanilla Vice is their vanilla fragrance, and it launched and there was marketing of vanilla ice cream with photos of soft serve, but the fragrance has these beast mode amber woods notes. And so you get the fragrance and it's very vanilla and very woody. Smelling it now, having that in mind, it's funny because when I think about this as a woody fragrance and I spray it, I'm like, no, it's definitely a vanilla fragrance. Like really obviously vanilla fragrance. At the time when you're going in expecting vanilla, you're like, what is happening here? This to me smells so similar to Mod Vanilla, Seven Virtues, Vanilla Woods, and Unmute by Noise. And I like all those fragrances. I just think, like, personally, I just prefer Unmute over this one. It's just like a personal preference. I don't know, I think this one's more vanilla-y, and I think Unmute is just a little more niche. Like, it has the pistachio and like more smoky notes. I don't know, it's not bad. It's just like, it's a good vanilla for the price. And if I were to do an affordable vanilla recommendations, I think this is one that you can't deny. It's super, super popular. It's just in the scale or like the overall realm of vanillas, I do think there's better ones. However, for the price, like at this price point, this is definitely a contender. Okay, next up we have Coco Shimmy. This is their summery fragrance. It is coconut with a sun-kissed twist. It's supposed to be coconut, pineapple, sandalwood, and tonka bean. I remember when I got this last year and I smelled it, and it was one that I just didn't like that much. I think with summery scents, it's kind of a personal journey because you obviously want fragrances that remind you of the summer, so you have to pull from people's associations with sunscreen and coconut scented things. I think everyone has different lines where things become too sunscreeny or too beachy. This one is really pineapple heavy and really fruity. It smells like a really sweet fruity drink mix mixed with this Ken doll that I had when I was a kid that smelled like coconut. That's what I get, is a very thick coconut scent mixed with a very sugary sweet pina colada mixture kind of scent. For some reason, the execution to me is just a little too sweet and a little cloying. All my opinions with fragrances, so take it with a grain of salt. I think if you're in the States, you can smell this at Ulta if you do want to smell it before, see if you might like it more than I do. I just think it's not my favorite scent for the summertime. Okay, the final fragrance that I have that is in this packaging is Hotcakes, essentially a pancake breakfast. Now, as a Canadian, as a maple syrup lover, this was something that, you know, tickled my fancy. I was very excited to smell it, and it smells. It's a lot. One thing I like about Snif a lot is the fact that they have a good relationship with Mon, which is a fragrance house that they manufacture with. So they work with perfumers like Patricia Choux or Mathilde Bijouet, who are some incredible, incredible perfumers at Mon. And so because of that, they have a lot of DNA that you can kind of see as a through line in some of their fragrances that you can smell in other fragrances. For example, there is a specific bread DNA or accord that Snif has that you can pick up in all of their gourmand fragrances. It originally was in the crumb couture scent that gave it the croissant, buttery, bready feeling. And then Snif launched a pizza fragrance, and you can smell that same fluffy bread smell. And that is present in this hotcake scent. So that beautiful bread accord that I really like is in here. However, there's just this overarching, very synthetic maple syrup smell that I think, you know, not to be Canadian, but to me smells really American and in a bad way. In Canada, we love our organic maple syrup. Like when you pour it, it should be liquidy, feel like it just came from a tree. And whenever you go to IHOP or a breakfast at a hotel, they always have this thick maple syrup that it has the texture of corn syrup. It's thick and it's not maple syrup. It's not what we Canadians know and love. Super, super sweet, super, super sugary, super, super fake smell is what I get in this. So I do think if you love IHOP and you love that type of maple syrup, that is what you'll have here. I just think for me, it's a little too much. And maple syrup is really sweet. Like even the Canadian stuff or like whatever I'm used to is really sweet. So it's not inauthentic. I just think this is a fragrance that I'm glad exists because it's so fun. I would love to be part of the creative element of this. I think it's so fun and I'm glad someone made a fragrance. So yeah, this is one that I'm like, Snif, keep doing fun things, keep doing this stuff. I'll review it and I might hate it all, but keep doing it because I'm just interested. It's fun. So yeah, with that, they came out with 3 fragrance toppers, and these are like body sprays, but they are supposed to be like toppers for your pancakes. So they have Hazel Split, Extra Whip, and Berry Styles. Hazel Split is banana and Nutella. I found this one actually offensive, so I won't be spraying this now. And when I reviewed it, it seemed like a lot of people really, really disliked this one as well. It smells like so chocolatey that it's dirty. And the chocolate reminds me of the chocolate on those Tootsie, is it the Tootsie's lollipops? Or like those Dum-Dums where it's chocolate lollipops. Chocolate, when it's not mixed with milk, feels weird. And this smells like that chocolate that's just the chocolate, like just chocolate flavored sweetened sugar. So that one was not my favorite. Berry Styles was okay. It's fruity. I don't like that fake blueberry smell, so to me it's just not. And it's so, so strong and so headache inducing. Like, it makes me think of when I was a kid walking into a Justice and that like cheap perfume, which when I was 12, when I was 11, I was all over. It's foundational to my youth. At this point in my life, no. At this point in my life, I'm good. Extra Whip, it was whipped cream with cold aldehydes. And I thought it was interesting because the aldehydes kind of separated the milk, where milk can be thick and creamy and dense, and I think the aldehydes helped fluff it up. So I did like that. It wasn't my perfect milk perfume because we're still looking for my perfect milk perfume, but that one was an interesting one. Okay, moving on to the NONOSES INC. NONOSES INC is Snif's secret menu. It's accessible through their website, but essentially it's a place for them to launch their more creative concepts. So here we see a lot of gourmands. Their first fragrance was a gasoline scent, and they've continually come out with more and more interesting concepts. So you can stumble across this through the website, and it has a completely different format than their regular Snif Co. website. Like I said, I don't have every fragrance from Snif, so I'm just gonna review all the ones that I have. Anyway, so let's start off with Soda Snob. This one is supposed to smell like Coca-Cola. There was like a random year where everyone was launching Coca-Cola fragrances, like Killian launched one. This smells like a Diet Pepsi or a Coca-Cola, but like why? Like why are we doing this? It smells like Coke with lime. Like there's a lime note and a really, really fizzy feeling that reminds me of those little miniature soda fizz candies. If you've had them, you've had them. Like there's something a little bit 7-Up to this. I think specifically Litsia Cubeba. If you know Litsia Cubeba, there's a lot of citral in this, and if you know your raw materials, I really like citral, so I do love this like effervescent feeling and maybe feeling of lime. Litsia Cubeba is the scent of Luscious Super Milk, if you know it. A lot of people call Luscious Super Milk lemon, but it's actually Litsia Cubeba. I'm actually liking this. Like what? It opens up like Diet Coke and then it turns into Litsia. This is because it's one of my favorite raw materials, guys. I really didn't think I would like this that much. So anyways, I'm gonna keep this to the side. Okay, Soda Snob is another one that I kind of revisited here because this fragrance smells like a really, 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 really sugared citral note. I think this scent is so sugary. Like it's like you took a lemon and preserved it in sugar for a really long time. So it's interesting because when you spray it, it does have like a Coca-Cola note. I'm like, there's obviously spices in here, but to me, it's actually a lot more lemony slash limey slash sugared. It smells so sugary that I'm like, it's not diet. This is the pure sugar stuff. So it's one that I think is interesting. But again, like for the price point, after doing the price breakdown, like, is it so necessary to smell like Coke? Really, you know, what are the thoughts here? The next one that we have is Crumb Couture, which is probably my favorite scent from Snif. Okay, actually, no, it's not. But it's one of my favorite scents from Snif. This fragrance is supposed to smell like a jam croissant. There is this fluffy, gourmand, buttery note that is so beautiful and so bready. It smells like baking dough with a little bit of a jam around it, which I think is cassis or blackcurrant. And I just think this smells so good. Like, it's just a fragrance I want to be wrapped in. And they have the laundry detergent, and I've gone through the laundry detergent and the scent booster multiple times. I've repurchased it, restocked on it. And so this fragrance makes me think of like warm laundry or warm blankets because there's just something so nice about having, like, who would have ever thought that the scent of like freshly baked croissants with a bit of jam in the form of a warm blanket that just came out of the dryer that's wrapped around you, like that is actually the pinnacle of life. Like that is why life is worth living. So the laundry detergent and the scent booster do highly recommend. They have it in the scent, 100% my favorite thing. Actually, one of my favorite things from Snif. I have two favorite perfumes from them. This is one. This is a favorite, all-time favorite. So good. Crumb Couture, Emma 10, highly recommend. Okay, the next one that we have is Naughty Nonna, and this one came out around Christmas time last year, and I love this. Like, I love the idea of coming out with a fruitcake scent, except I actually didn't like that idea when it came out because, like, I don't like fruitcake, and who does? But this fragrance is fire. It's like really sweet and sugary. Again, a little bit of that bready note. And okay, have you ever cooked a muffin and you know how like the tops of the muffin, they'll get that smooth, glossy, and really moist feel? This feels like that moist bread of like the top part of a muffin, like the exterior of a muffin that's glossy and a little shiny. It smells like that. It smells like how that tastes, like specifically the best part of a muffin. Oh, it's really good. There's definitely like an orangey note in the opening, but to me, it just overall smells like a muffin. This is one that I really like and think is fun. It's definitely super gourmand, super over the top, but like, hell yeah, I'm here for that. Hello and welcome to my laundry room. This is not a room that the internet should see because it's very basement coded. As in, It's the basement. It's not gorgeous, but this is where we are. And I have some of my laundry products from Snif. So here I thought we could talk about the laundry products from Snif that I've tried and what I think of them. Snif has two different products. One is their laundry detergent and the other one is their scent booster. The laundry detergent comes in a bottle like this. There's a cup and it has markings for different loads, etc. So originally they launched with just this and you were supposed to measure in the top, but now they give you this cup as well to use. I will say that with all of these scents, I find that you do need the scent booster to go with the fragrance, so it can get a little expensive because I believe that the actual detergent itself is like maybe $19 max, but when you purchase the scent booster to go with it, then it gets a little more pricey. So do keep that in mind. First of all, we have the scent Tart Deco. This is the cherry scent. This one I've used only a few times and I think it takes a bit to get used to your laundry smelling like cherry. So this is one that I can't say really stuck as part of my routine. I've used it here and there. I think it's fun. I think it's fruity. It literally smells just like perfume. It's just whether or not I want that on my laundry detergent. So this is not my favorite scent from them. As you can see, my favorite scent here is the Crumb Couture. This is the croissant and jam scented one. I have the laundry detergent and the scent booster. I've been using this for so long. I love this on my clothing. I love this on my blankets. And I don't think it makes actual logical sense that cherry to me doesn't work for laundry, but croissant does. That doesn't make any sense. I can't explain that to you. I just like it. So Crumb Couture, I personally really like it. Of course, I think you have to actually try the scent first to know that you like the scent. This is one of those things where I'm like, I personally really love it, but I think it might be a little too niche to actually recommend, if that makes sense. This is not on their website right now, but I have their Spice Break, which is supposed to be like pumpkin spice. I got this from fall, so it's not in stock right now. It might come back. I'm just gonna say this is another one where I'm kind of like, I don't know if I like this that much. It smells like a really over-sweetened milk creamer, like a pumpkin creamer or something. It's very sweet. The scent itself in terms of the spices are really nice, but I think the sweetness level is just too much for me. As you can see, I've used this before, but like hardly anything, so it's not one that I really reach for. Now, finally, they just came out with a new one called Signature Spin, and I think that this one is supposed to be more of like a classic laundry scent, and so I was really excited because I genuinely like their laundry products, but it would be nice if they have a scent that's more of like a classic laundry scent, so I thought that this was gonna be it. However, it is very cloying to the point where I wash my laundry with it, and it's very strong, very long lasting. I can smell my clothing. I hated the smell so much that I had to wash my clothing a second time with different detergent to try to cover the scent, and I still, all I can smell is that. And so on my clothing now, I'm like, I really am just trying to wear my clothing until I can wash it again and like try to just get the scent out. So unfortunately, the Signature Spin is one that I'm stuck with. So I don't really like that one. It's Lily of the Valley and Patchouli, and to me it really has that kind of like old-timey fragrance smell. Like, I like J'adore, but it's like if you took J'adore and take out the beautiful fresh pear part and just leave the muguet, as in Lily of the Valley, patchouli, chypre kind of scent. I think it's very strong patchouli, and I might be a little biased because I did end up spilling the scent booster in my basement, and so my whole house has smelled like that for a few days. That's my fault, but I do think that it's one that I would pass on and I wouldn't purchase. I know they have a few other scents that I haven't tried out. These are the only ones I've tried, so let me know if you want me to try them. In terms of a product, love that they do laundry. I think it's so fun. So the Croissant Crumb Couture is my favorite for sure. All right, moving on to their collaborations. I have 4 of them with me here. I've tried, I think, all their collabs, but I don't own them all. The first one we have Rose Era, which interestingly, when I was in Paris, I smelled this girl and she smelled so good. It was one of my classmates. I was like, thank you, I'm wearing Rose Era. This fragrance is soapy, bubbly, fruity, clean. There's a soap accord in this that makes this feel overall so clean, like your life is put together, you just had a bubble bath, but there's just a beautiful, like soft rose where it's not too sweet, it's not too jammy, and I think there's a fruitiness of the rose, like a cassis base or a raspberry note that adds this bubbly, foamy soap. This is just the perfect clean scent. Freshly bathed, freshly showered, everything shower. Like, put this on as your topper, as like, I am clean. It's not even a scent that I would wear on a date. Like, it's not so romantic or deep or sensual. It's really just clean and casual is what I get from this. The next one that we have is Vow Factor. Now this one here is green galbanum. This fragrance is nice. I think it's really nice for the summertime because the greenness and the crispness and the freshness, it's not fresh as like citrus. There's really not a citrus happening here, but it smells like green. Like, you know when you bite into celery and there's a crunch, or any vegetables have like a crunch to them? This fragrance feels like a juicy, crunchy vegetable that's fresh and like firm. And at the same time, there's a really floral element that smells like natural florals. Like when I'm in perfumery school and we get our naturals, it smells like, yeah, other floral notes to really make this feel like a forest and green. And so I think this is a really well done and well executed scent. I think it's fun and it's crisp and green and cool. So I think you definitely have to like green fragrances. But yeah, I think this is a good one. So Wow Factor from Snif, highly recommend. Now we have our final fragrance, which is my favorite fragrance from Snif. However, actually disaster has struck because I can't find it. So my favorite fragrance from Snif is Alex L's Heal the Way. It is pistachio Palo Santo with a bit of a cream. I think it's like pistachio cream, Divana, Palo Santo. Heal the Way is my favorite fragrance from Snif. It's warm, it's cozy, it's comforting, it lasts a long time. The way that it sits on skin is just like such a hug. It really feels like a hug. It's beautiful. I crave it. You can wear it on a date. You can wear it on a casual basis. It provides comfort. I just think it's beautiful and so good. And I just got the candle, which I don't really use candles, but I think if I used candles, I would use that candle. So I've kept it. I just think it's a beautiful fragrance. I think it smells deep and spicy because there's Divana, which is a fruity note that's kind of hard to put your finger on, and I think can make fragrances smell, it can just add like this depth and complexity. So I really like Heal the Way, and I'm having trouble finding words for it, but to me it just smells like the smell of comfort. Now moving on to Gentle Reminder, I just got this fragrance. One thing about ube or sweet potato is that it has a strong, like purple potato, it has a strong texture to it, like a earthy, gritty, and I think that is difficult to pick up on a fragrance like this, because a fragrance you can't pick up textural elements. It's kind of difficult to do. So I think that when I smell this, I would have never ever in my own mind said, oh, you know what this smells like? That is not a place where my mind goes. It's more of a marketing thing where you're like, oh, it's such a fun new note, but I don't know how true the note is to the actual scent. When I spray this, it smells really sugary, like fake sugar, plasticky sugar, cheap sugar. It smells like it's just not a vibe. However, this fragrance has pretty much the same base and DNA as Heal the Way. So after you've worn this fragrance for like 8 hours, it turns into Heal the Way. And so after wearing this for a long time, it smells like Heal the Way, and it smells great because I love Heal the Way. So for me, if I have this fragrance left over on my clothing, I'll think, oh my God, this smells so good. It's so comforting and so cozy. But like, I wouldn't buy this fragrance over Heal the Way, because what I like about this fragrance is just the Heal the Way elements in this. I'll also say that this smells like cocoa. Like it smells like there's a cacao, and kind of the same cacao note that I picked up from Hazel Split, where it's like a chocolate lollipop kind of fake sugar smell. I don't think this is bad. I think it's interesting. I just think, I don't know, I just think it smells a little cheap, and it's not super expensive, but I just think Heal the Way is so good that this is just not the same, although the bar is pretty high. I wanted to break down Snif's price point because I feel like a big thing that they started on is the fact that they're affordable, but when you do the math, are they? These are Snif's prices for their fragrances specifically. For a regular 30 milliliter fragrance, it is $65 USD. That is $2.16 per milliliter. For reference, it's obviously not full, but this is 2 milliliters. This would be $4.32. The general Snif fragrance is 30 milliliters, $2.16 per milliliter, and it is an eau de toilette. So it's like 6 to 8% perfume oil. To put that into perspective, Kayali, their 100 milliliter bottle is $1.38 per milliliters for an eau de parfum intense. Glossier, $1.56 per milliliters for an eau de parfum. Chanel, $1.76 per milliliter for an eau de parfum of a brand new fragrance that just came out. Snif is above all of that with $2.16 per milliliter for an eau de toilette. Furthermore, their new Snif Super Fragrance, which is an eau de parfum, so like a normal perfume concentration, is $99 per 30 milliliters, which is $3.30 per milliliter of an eau de parfum. compared to all of these other brands. Snif does have certain things that you can offer. They have a subscription service. They often have discounts. I have an affiliate code. However, we think of Snif as a more affordable brand, but when you actually look at the margins here, the juice is expensive. Recently just launched into the body mist territory with their pancake collection. Now, these body mists are 14 cents per milliliter, as compared to Sol de Janeiro is 15 cents per milliliter, Fleur is 16 cents per milliliter, and Love Shack Fancy is 17.5 cents per milliliter. Pretty average when it comes to body mists, although you do have to think, when it comes to Snif fragrances, a lot of them are super niche themed. Like, would you wear a Sol de Janeiro scent that's a beautiful mixture of pistachio, etc., or would you wear a Snif scent that is pure blueberry? So just something to keep in mind about kind of the price range for Snif. I've waited so long to make this video on Snif, and they won't stop launching things. Snif is recently teasing a new Swedish candy fragrance, and if you want to see the review to that, I recommend that you follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram, and if you are watching this and I have already uploaded my review, I will put it in the caption. If there's any fragrances that you're like, you didn't review this one, look in the caption and I will try to have linked it for you. So that is all that I have to review for you from Snif. Let me know what you thought about this video and let me know what brands you want to see in future videos. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.